Hi, welcome to Arts Focus. I'm Sarah Dresser, the Program Specialist for the City of Columbia's Office of Cultural Affairs. Arts Focus is a monthly 30-minute program where the Director of the Office of Cultural Affairs, JJ Musgrove, and I interview local arts and culture organizations. And our first guest today is Linda Shust from Jabberwocky Studios, their Executive Director. And we also have our board member, Orvil Savery, who's also the Human Resources Maverick at Veterans United. So welcome to represent Jabberwocky today.
Thank you. We're so happy to be here.
So Jabberwocky Studios formed pretty recently in 2014, so just over a year ago, relatively new organization. So if you would give us kind of an overview of maybe why you created this organization and kind of what your programs are.
Sure. We were looking for a way that we could use the arts to bring together people from different facets of Columbia community and give them some kind of a meaningful basis for forming relationships. So we're trying to engage the most diverse possible audience, and so because of that we have very diverse programming, including theater, art, dance, and vocal instruction. And we have classes for kids as young as 5 and up all the way up to senior citizens.
Okay.
And we try to have a tuition policy that breaks down the barrier so that everyone can participate regardless of socioeconomic status. Mm-hmm. And we're also trying to build a very diverse staff and a very diverse board.
Okay, great. I guess if you could delve in a little bit more into maybe some of the specifics of like what type of classes regularly happen during the week. Like you have theater and dance, but is there any kind of specialty classes that people have really picked up on?
So I think our most popular classes have been our hip hop and breakdancing classes.
Okay.
In fact, Orvil is a product of our adult breakdancing class.
Okay.
We won't ask him to do a demonstration.
Not today.
We want to see what you've leared, but we'll save that until you come on next time. You can practice a little more.
So yeah, I think those classes have really engaged people.
Okay.
And it's been a great opportunity for us to reach out to the community and connect, including boys. We have a lot of boys that come and take our classes and connect them with male instructors who are role models.
Great.
There are also girls there as well.
Yeah.
So I think those are the classes people have been the most excited about.
Yeah, and that's, I think, definitely probably filling probably a void that we maybe haven't had in Columbia as much or as formalized since you guys have come onto the scene. I guess, Orvil, was that how you first got introduced to Jabberwocky, just taking a class, or how did you get involved and what are you currently working on with the organization?
Yeah, that's a great question. I was actually introduced to Jabberwockies from a colleague. She sent me an email with this PDF document about breakdancing, and my whole life I've always had this affinity for breakdancing, loved the art, loved the moves, but was never cool enough to actually get into it. So I had this mantra for this year. I was like, well, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. So she sent me this thing. I'm like, I'm just gonna go for it. Went for it, went to class, loved the first class. And I thought to myself, more people need to know about how great this class is, but beyond that, how great the organization is. And I'm a big proponent of this thing called creative reciprocity. And it's basically just sharing what you do with the world and hopefully they respond in kind. So with that, I said I had to kind of, make sure I help this organization do what they do best, and that's providing art, dance, theater, and everything else as well.
Great. And where is your facility located, or where do most of your programs happen?
So, well, we have a lot of outreach programming that actually goes on in public spaces or in the schools.
Great.
But our in-studio classes take place at, our address is 1308 Grand Street. Mm-hmm. So we're just off Business Loop, right beside Carpet One.
Okay.
So kind of catty corner from Hickman.
Okay, great. And maybe speak a little bit more about kind of some of the outreach opportunities and community involvement that aren't your regular studio classes.
Sure. We've done, I think this summer we did 2 performances, 1 dance and 1 theater performance at Family Fun Fest.
Okay.
We try to make regular visits to one of the nursing homes in town and do vocal performances there. And then we have an ongoing collaboration with Adventure Club,
Okay.
In which we provide free dance programming to students in the Adventure Club after-school programs. They're 8-week dance classes that come at no cost to the students. And the reason we like partnering with Adventure Club is because that way we can reach students who for whom tuition might be an obstacle, or for whom transportation might be an obstacle, or equipment might be an obstacle. So this way we come to the students and all they have to do is dance. So we'll do 6 schools at Adventure Club this semester, and then next semester we'll try to reach another 6 schools.
Okay, great.
And we also have a theater program that we do through Adventure Club.
Great.
Like last spring, we visited all 19 Adventure Club sites with a short play about diversity, and then we workshopped with the kids afterwards. We broke them into small groups and workshopped with them.
Okay, great. Well, that sounds like a lot of great opportunities for our local students, both to come to you to take classes, but also to be able to participate after school as well. Do you have any kind of ongoing plans of where you see Jabberwocky going in the future? Are you just hoping to kind of continue to build your current programs, or maybe you could speak about some of your vision for, as you are such a new organization and I'm sure going through a lot of transformation?
So, yeah, I mean, we're very interested in partnering with other agencies or other organizations around town. So we're working on partnerships with the Islamic School. We're working on getting some programming into Veterans United. And so we're interested in reaching out to people that way. And then I think the next step is, once we've established a clientele or kind of built a representation in the population, is for us to really go hard after then using our connections to really build a community from among the people that partake in our programming.
Great, great. Well, it sounds really exciting direction you're going, and you seem to have accomplished so much in just a short amount of time since last year, probably from the idea stage to now you're actually building on the programs and getting people to participate. I guess I have a couple other questions. Why the name Jabberwocky Studios? Where does that come from? How is that connected to what you do?
So Jabberwocky is the name of a Lewis Carroll poem,
Okay.
which was originally featured in Alice Through the Looking Glass.
Okay.
And the connection it had for me was that I used to be a 5th grade teacher, and my students would study that poem. It's a nonsense poem.
Yeah.
Not that the poem has no meaning, but there are a lot of made-up nonsense words in the poem.
Yeah.
And so it's an incredibly creative, weird Lewis Carroll-esque kind of poem. And then if you really read it, you realize it's a kind of a coming-of-age story about a little boy who faces his fears. And I mean, there's kind of a bad end for the Jabberwocky, but we gloss over that part.
Yeah.
So that's why we adopted the name for the studio.
Okay, great. Where can people go to find more information about your programs, about registering? Like, should they go to your website, or what's the best way to kind of get the information?
Do you want to take that one?
Yeah, Orvil, let us know.
Yeah, for sure. I would say definitely the website is a great way to, say, reach us, ask questions, get engaged. But I also say just to come out and check out a class. That's what really got me into it. The PDF was just kind of the gateway to really get me into the place. And once I got there, it was this great platform to be a kid again.
Great.
And I think in a safe space like that, it's one of those moments to where it really re-engages you back with that moment to when you wanted to do certain things and maybe didn't get a chance to really do them. So if anything, definitely come to a class. You're more than welcome to reach out to me as well. Reach out to definitely Linda too. And
people can just show up. They don't need to pre-register or call ahead. They can,
if you may pre-register through the website. Also, we post a lot on Facebook.
Be put off.
Yeah, I mean, anybody is welcome to come to any class and try it out or observe it, see if they
register.
Like it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, great. And your website, I think they probably have it on the screen, but what is it? Just
Jabberwockystudios.org.
Well, great. Well, thank you both for coming on Arts Focus today, and we look forward to see what programs continue to evolve in the future.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hi, and we're back. My name is J.J. Musgrove, the Director of the Office of Cultural Affairs, and I am here with Ed Hanson, who is the, what do we call you today?
The Executive and Artistic Director.
Well done. All right, good. Of Talking Horse Productions, a wonderful, I can't say new theater anymore, but certainly a wonderful theater that we have here within our community. And so instead of me trying to talk about it, Ed, tell us all about Talking Horse. When did you start, and what do you guys do?
Well, I retired in 2008 from a teaching career and started working professionally as an actor and was doing a lot of regional theater around the country. And I had an opportunity in 2011 to take over a space that had been next door to the Berlin Theater that was already set up as a black box theater. It sat about 55, 60 people, I think. And at first I was a little reluctant to take on the project because I was really having fun doing what I was doing.
Sure.
But I decided that opportunities like that don't come along very often, and if you're going to have an opportunity like that sort of fall in your lap, you need to listen to karma and take a chance. So I founded the company in 2012. We're in our 4th season, just about to wrap up our 4th season right now. We did move the theater, of course, in 2013 to our new space over on St. James Street, just a few blocks from the old Berlin Theater. But things have been going really, really well, and I think the community has embraced us as a viable theater option. So it's really nice to be established in only our 4th year.
Exactly. That's absolutely wonderful. What kind of productions or what kind of shows do you think that when people start thinking of Talking Horse, what kind of shows do you like to take on? Both as a both 3 times, both as an actor or a director or an artistic producer.
Right.
Yes. So what's Talking Horse starting to be known for now?
Well, our mission statement says that we produce intimate theater with very strong scripts and compelling characters, and that really is what I use as my guideline when I'm looking at shows. Does this really fit that criteria? We want to have a show that does not rely on a lot of lavish costumes and sets. We don't need a lot of tech. We don't need a lot of things flying in from the ceiling and rolling in from the wings and stuff. What we want is for our audience to be told a really great story and to have really interesting characters to focus on while they were there with us. And so as long as we can do that, and of course, because of our space being as intimate as it is, we seat 70 now. We're not looking for large cast shows. So typically we pick things with 10 or less people. We're doing shows with as few as 1, and most of the time we average between about 4 and 7.
Okay.
In a cast.
Wonderful. That's great. What typical shows that you've done in the past that come off the top of your head that have been successful as far as and kind of lead us into what you're thinking about doing for your next season?
Well, the very first show that we produced at the New Theater was a very quirky little play. Very few people had heard of it, but I had a friend of mine suggest it to us. It was called The Man with the Plastic Sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
And it dealt with a person who was going through a midlife crisis. And in the course of several months, he meets 3 different characters on a park bench, and they give him advice about what his next steps in life should be. It was just this charming, as I said, quirky little comedy, and people just loved it. It shows like that. And we do musicals, we do dramas, we do comedies. One of our most successful dramas that we did was last October. We produced a new version, a kind of a avant-garde version of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde that people just went nuts for. We rented the costumes because we really wanted that Victorian look, or Edwardian look maybe. But at the same time, we had a very representational set, just a few furniture pieces, and then lighting would make those big transitions, for us. So shows like that really have an interesting story and great characters to focus on.
Okay. What do you have coming up for your next season? Your 5th season?
Our 5th season, and we're really excited about it. This will be the first season we're actually repeating a show.
Ah. See how that goes.
Well, the reason that we're repeating is because the artistic director, in all of his stupidity, in 2013 put a show up against the True False Film Festival. And it was a brilliant, brilliant show that almost no one saw.
Yeah.
And so we're going to bring it back. But in February, we're producing a new play by a man named Frank Higgins, who teaches playwriting at UMKC, called Black Pearl Sings. There was a debut of it in Kansas City this last year, and I went and saw it and was just mesmerized by it. A 2-woman show. Then the one we're going to reproduce for 3 weekends in April, A Man of No Importance. A beautiful, beautiful story, musical set in Dublin, Ireland in the 1960s. I won't go into too much detail right now, but because I know we're short of time. But, then we're going to produce another new show in June, written by a young man who just finished his PhD in theater at Mizzou and is now employed, yay!
That's fantastic.
By a college teaching theater in North The play is called Truffles and Nougat. It first debuted in Comedies in Concert 2 years ago as a staged concert reading. And so this will be the first full-blown staging of it. In August, probably the show that most people are the most excited about, we're doing The Last 5 Years, a 2-person musical. In October, Mothers and Sons, Tony Award-winning play by Terrence McNally about a mom who revisits the ex-partner of her late son.
Oh, interesting.
And just a beautiful story. And then at the end of the season, we're going to do a comedy written by a former resident of Columbia, Russ Brown, who now is teaching in Texas. And it's called Stud Ducks. And it's about this kind of dysfunctional Texas family. Very fun. And again, so you're looking at 6 plays that we're producing as our main shows. 3 of them are new.
That's amazing.
Or written by people I know.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. There's really isn't a wonderful outlet for, we were talking earlier about new plays and new playwrights.
Right.
You know, to be able to have an opportunity for them to get out there and really show their work, workshop it, you know, and figure out what works, what doesn't work, and things of that nature.
Well, you know, this last season we produced Steeple People, which was a Southern gospel comedy, musical comedy. We were the first theater company outside of the Preview company that put it together to actually produce the show. We broke all kinds of attendance records for Talking Horse with it, and it's just been picked up for a 5-week run at the Old Creamery Theater in Iowa, which is one of the mainstays of regional theater across the country.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And it was because another theater company took a chance and then showed a proven track record with it.
Right.
So we're really, really proud of that.
That's great. How can people find out more about Talking Horse Productions and what's going on and buy tickets? And
That's my dog off on the sides. He's trying to say www.talkinghorseproductions.org. We're a very strong presence on Facebook also, and so that's a great way to find out about us. People can buy online. They can call a phone number to make phone reservations. I can give you that number if you'd like.
Sure.
I think 573-268-1381. Or they can take their chances and come to the door, but it's always good in a 70-seat theater to have your ticket ready to go.
Definitely, because many of your shows
Yeah,
sell out a lot.
We're getting ready to open a show October 16th called Reasons to Be Pretty, a very, very smart kind of a comedy drama about dysfunctional relationships and how when you say the wrong thing, things can backfire.
Yeah.
This is a very typical show for us, of 4 casts, 4 roles in the show, 2 men, 2 women. Really smartly written, smartly directed, and our acting is brilliant.
Well, that's fantastic.
So I'm not in it. Thank God.
Well, good. Then it's really wonderful.
really
Yeah,
wonderful.
Neither am I, so good. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Once again, this was Ed Hanson from Talking Horse Productions visiting us, and find out more information about him and his theater company on the web and on Facebook. My name is JJ Musgrove, and thank you for joining us for Arts Focus.
Welcome back to Arts Focus. Our final guest today is Ayako Tsuruta from Odyssey Chamber Music Series. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we're excited to talk to you about your programs, and for viewers who might not be familiar with the music series, can you just give us a brief overview of your organization and its history?
Sure. Odyssey Chamber Music Series was founded in 2004 in collaboration with First Baptist Church and its music director, Ed Rollins. And we began as a very small, just group of people, not even nonprofit at the time, just who wanted to contribute some time to music and making chamber music together. And now in our 12th season, we have actually grown and become nonprofit, and we now run about an average 6 to 8 concerts a year. We're still based in the First Baptist Church with their support, and yeah, it's been really fantastic.
Great. And for people who might really not know what the term chamber music is,
Yes.
could you explain that, how that might be different from like orchestral music, or what people can expect if they come to your show?
Well, chamber music, in short, is a group of people collaborating with each other and to make music. So the difference between chamber music and orchestra would be that orchestra has a conductor, and I would say maybe anywhere between 20 and more musicians creating music together. And chamber music is typically done amongst the players themselves, and so the rehearsal times are a little bit more flexible, and they can actually rehearse as long as they like.
Yeah, or short. No.
Yes, this is true.
Exactly. So going into your next season, it's just about to begin with your first concert. Maybe give us an overview of the programming this season and touch a little bit on your first concert.
Sure. Every season I try to come up with some sort of a theme, and this year it's cultural exploration. So we will literally be visiting different countries. In October we'll start with Asia, and there is going to be a lot of focus on Japanese and Chinese influenced music. We'll actually have Japanese folk songs with the kimonos, and at the end of the concert we'll actually have a display of local Asian restaurants who are catering, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. And in December we will have Russia and Slovakia, complete contrast to our programming in October. We will showcase Russian musicians, Iskander Akhmadulin and Natasha Bolshakova, their husband and wife duo, trumpet and piano. We will also have Maria Duhova Trevor on harp, and we will have wonderful lush music of Rachmaninoff, and yeah, that's going to be a complete different scenery. And then yet in January we'll actually introduce something else, which is the French Miseriana with Carnival of the Animals, which is extremely popular with the kids. This is a family concert, Saturday afternoon, so everybody can come, and it's admission free, so it's free for all. And contrasting with that is the totally professional Jasper String Quartet that has won the Plymouth Chamber Music Competition in 2008. And February we have Baroque, the annual Baroque, but this one is titled Elizabethan Baroque, and it's based in England, of course. So we'll feature a lot of the Elizabethan themes and composers who influenced England, and yeah, that's going to be totally different. March we have Odyssey Performance Fellows. They are selected by auditions and interviews, and they have won their spots to actually have direct directions producing these concerts. So that will be on March. And lastly in May, we can't have chamber music without German romantic composers.
Exactly.
So we'll have Robert Schumann with a song cycle, my personal favorite, Dichterliebe. And Schubert's immense epic woodwind quintet, octet. So that's in together with the strings.
Great. Well, it sounds like you have a very diverse season covering all different regions of the world.
Yeah, well, we'll try. I mean, 8 concerts is hardly enough to travel around the world.
But thankfully, you will have many more seasons to come where you can explore things. But
certainly.
We're looking forward to embarking on this season. You talked a little bit about your community family concert in January. Any other community or outreach programs that you do throughout the year?
Yes, we also have a small series out in Lenore Woods, and they provide us with a space so that we actually can come in and provide our musicians to, in some cases, the programs will double up with the actual concert, but it's mostly the combination of music taken from the programs of the main series, but also to feature the musicians who perform in Odyssey. So we have 3 of those dates this year. The first one is coming up a day before the October 16th at the First Baptist Church. So at the Lenore Woods, we will perform October 15th, showcasing baritone Daryl J. Jordan and myself, actually, in a song recital. And you talked a little bit about the Performance Fellows, and is that a new program that you've just started the past couple of seasons? It's relatively new. We started it last year, and it was so successful, and everybody has such a wonderful time working with them that we thought that it would be really nice to be able to continue with this. And the Performance Fellows, there are 2 components for them to qualify. They have a audition, the live performance of their instruments or voice or composer. And they also have interviews where we'll just randomly throw them really difficult questions. Very much like job interview, and that's exactly what this is. And in exchange for a small stipend, they will be given certain jobs throughout the year.
Okay.
But the main job is to come up with their own production, very much what I do throughout the year with
Okay.
the Odyssey series, but they're giving one specific date, and that's going to happen March 18th in 2016.
Okay.
So they have a whole year to plan ahead, to recruit musicians,
Okay.
to come up with the concept. So it's a big job.
And then are they performing for that concert as well or throughout the
That's-
season?
That's their choice.
Okay.
If they want to, they can.
Okay.
But if they want to focus on programming element, that's actually
Yeah,
you
so it's
know,
kind of like that.
equally important.
You know, it's different than your, regular internship. They're really kind of part of your organization for the
Correct.
season. And are they university students, or are they usually studying music or
Well, so far
management?
it's been university students,
Okay.
university grad students.
Okay.
However, the application is open to all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
anybody
that's
who's interested.
Great
so.
opportunity, especially coming myself from a musical background that went into administration. I know that that's
Yeah.
a great opportunity for the students who are
Well, it's a great opportunity
in
for
their
us.
careers and for you
Yes,
as an organization.
because, well, as an organization, I really believe that it's important to keep our focus current and in line with younger generations.
Exactly.
And we're not going to get any younger. So
Exactly.
The only way the second best thing is to actually incorporate the younger generation, and hopefully we can learn from each other.
Great.
And that's always been the attitude.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing all of your programs and exciting news. Where can people find more information about your season and
Well, we do
tickets?
have a website.
Okay.
It's www.odysseymissouri.org, and if that's actually a little bit difficult, it's ODYSSEY, Missouri, one word, .org. Or you can actually call us at 573-825-0079.
Great. Well, look forward to seeing what you have in store for us.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on our next episode of Arts Focus.